Hello and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, hello and welcome. This is Motor Mike Media, and as always, I'm Motor Mike, and today, well, we're going to talk about the Jeep. And I have the Jeep today because unfortunately the truck is not doing so well. It started leaking brake fluid as well as other leaks everywhere. Coolant leaks, engine leaks, transmission leaks, and the brake leaks are so bad that literally you can pour a bottle in and a couple hours later it's empty. So that's currently in the shop, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So basically I got an option. Either I can give it back to my uncle who found the truck and cost me absolutely nothing, or I can spend some time and fix it myself. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but until then, I'm driving the Jeep, and let's go around and talk about what my plans are for it and some things we can do with it. So here it is, guys, the Cherokee. A nice boxy front end, which I always liked. You can see the new headlights we put in. There's actually going to be a video about that pretty soon. And you can see that front bumper's broken, and the hood doesn't really line up. My dad bought this vehicle, and the more we dug into it, the more we found little things that were wrong with it, more than we actually thought. I always love these boxy style, but you can see there's quite a few dents and dings, scratches. Let's see if I can get that on the camera for you, but you can see a few. Then we go down here. Yeah, there's a lot of rust down here. You can tell I was actually trying to paint it over. If I open the door it sags down, and you can see there's some rust right there. A lot more rust than we originally thought. Going to the back, the caps are faded. Some scratches and dents into the back bumper. And we come around this side. It's hard to see in the picture, but that door is slightly concaved. Going down here, another big dent and lots of rust. But this has some good things to it. There's only 123,000 miles on it, and it has that good inline-six engine. So my favorite part about these Cherokees is this. The inline-six engine. It's a 4-liter inline-six. It makes about 190 horsepower and 225 to 235 pound-feet of torque depending on the year. But let's dig into it. The good old inline-six engine. And it's relatively clean in here. We did have to replace this. It was cracked. And you can see down here, they actually got rid of the AC. Something I didn't even realize when we looked at it. That was my error, but it would be nice to get the AC back in this thing. It runs pretty smooth. Once in a great while on startup, it is a little rough, but we'll see that when we go inside. All right, so let's go inside the Jeep. That door really sags, but when you get inside, good old classic Jeep. I like these gauges. They're nice and simple, easy to read. Steering wheel, you can tell it's a base model. There's no buttons on the steering wheel. Old school everything. Now that radio was actually installed afterwards. The regular one just had cassette. This has CD and cassette. Simple climate controls. And I really love that shifter. Now most of these were automatics, but I like this bent T. If I actually look here, you can see how it's curved. It just feels satisfying when you turn it. Now just sitting in this vehicle, it's got this upward dash, and the door panels are also nice and simple. It's got that old Chrysler switchgear that you found in the 90s and very early 2000s. But let's start this thing up. So now we got the Jeep started up. You can hear that it's running slightly rough. The check engine light's on. And there's actually a vibration. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But it's coming from down there. Also, the car has its rattles. The glove box is loose. There's something loose behind here. Something down here is loose as well. The door panel is loose. All these rattles, yes, these vehicles are old, they do rattle, but a lot more rattles have occurred. Luckily, a lot of these things, like that actual pillar right there, that snapped. I actually snapped it back in. Same thing with this one, and now that no longer rattles. A lot of little things that just needs to be fixed. So driving the Jeep, it's actually a pretty nice experience. The ride is relatively good. For back in its time, it was surprisingly good, but nowadays, compared to modern vehicles, this is pretty rough. But I can let my hands off the steering wheel. I'm not wobbling back and forth. It has a straight ride. And the greenhouse visibility is really good. You can just look over your shoulder, see everything. All the pillars are very narrow. And yes, I move around. There's lots of body roll and stuff like that. It's not a sports car. When you drive this vehicle, the way you sit in it, how the dash is and everything, it does put a smile on your face. It feels quite rugged. And it's just a fun vehicle to drive. It might not be fast, but the inline-six is smooth. This vehicle gives you that happiness feeling, like I said. And overall, just a pretty decent experience. So these are very small SUVs. They actually fit in a lot of small garages like mine. But let's see when I get inside the room. I'll remind you I'm about 5'11". Ooh. And this is where I sit to drive. I do have a little bit of a gangster lean. So if I did move it up, I would have a little bit more space, but not much headroom. My knees are against the back of the seat in front of me. The seat bottom itself is relatively comfortable, but I wouldn't want to be here on long journeys, especially if someone my size or bigger was sitting up front. Alright guys, so that's the Jeep. Basically a lot of the typical old things. Lots of rattles, some creaks, and rust, because we are here in Michigan. But I want to do some things to fix this up for my dad. Under the hood, yes, I didn't see that it didn't have air conditioning, but we can add that on. Figure out why sometimes it runs a little rough, because these engines are very bulletproof, and when there is a problem, they're very cheap and easy to find. And like I said, I want to add some new wheels to this. New wheels and rims, make it set off a little bit, and then clean this vehicle. Maybe make a whole detail video cleaning everything and actually finding all the rust. Seeing what rust we can actually fix and repair. I do have a little bit of paint skills in my book of trades, but I don't know if I want to tackle all of this. I at least want to make it sound for my dad. But please, if you haven't already and you want to, check out my channel. I keep trying to give you guys more and more content. I talk about cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs, combustion engines, just like this old girl, and EVs, a little bit of everything. And please, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you guys can stay up to date with the latest and greatest from my channel. And as always, I truly, truly appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.